And if you'd like to be seated for a moment, just very briefly to thank you all for coming out on this cold, dark September evening to celebrate the feast of our founder, St Vincent. September is very much a Vincentian month. We have the feast of St John Gabriel Phibsborough, one of our Chinese martyrs in China. We have the feasts of the martyrs of the French Revolution. We have Blessed Frederick Ozanam, and these feasts culminate for us in the feast of St Vincent himself this evening. I want to thank all those members of the representatives of the different branches of the Vincentian family who came along throughout all the Sundays of September to speak and reflect with us at Masses on the different works in which you are engaged and what those works mean to you in your own discipleship of Christ. I want to thank Sister Claire, who's the chair of the Vincentian Family Council, who organised that, and also Sister Louise, who organised the prayer space here in front of our altar. And as you will see in coming into the house for a cup of tea, much work has been done also in our parish office to highlight all the different elements of Vincentianism in our country today, in all the works that many, many people are doing. And we thank God for that also. Our Parish Pastoral Council are reflecting on the many submissions that were received during the period of reflecting on our synodal pathway, and will now in the next couple of weeks be proposing some very practical projects in the parish, and we hope that the Vincentian family in Ireland will be able to come along and work with the parish in helping us to be renewed in our sense of who we are as disciples of Christ in the spirit of Vincent de Paul. In line with that, there's a possibility this evening of making a contribution, if you can, to the work of the local St Peter's Conference of the St Vincent de Paul Society and the AIC, known here as the Ladies of Charity, both of whom are working away quietly and I think becoming ever more busy as they strive to grapple with all the challenges that we're facing, the cost of living and so on. Refreshments then are served immediately after Mass in the house, and could I ask you to come into the house through that door, the Cabra Road door, and up along what is the corridor into the parish office, and the people there to direct you right up into the house for some refreshments. I want to thank also our celebrant Father James Murphy for leading us. He had a reference in the letter of St Vincent to manure. Well, manure is a very important thing for many of us, as we know, as gardeners, and without it, where would we be? Especially as we try now to become more self-sufficient. So it's a lovely note that he brought to our attention this evening. That's something the parish has been working on, also becoming more eco-friendly. Our candles are now all, as you know, all renewable, recyclable. We're trying very much to reduce packaging. We're trying more and more to use the flowers that we grow in the garden and that parishioners bring from their gardens, and in some small way to be part of the work as followers of Christ, respecting the gifts that God has given us, and to ease the distress in nature, and to do all we can also through the spirit of St Vincent de Paul to ease the distress in human nature. So much suffering in our world today, across the world with warfare, nearer to home also with so much suffering and hardship. And I want to thank you all, because in this parish for many generations you are the people who have carried on the spirit of St Vincent and put it into action in your daily lives, in your care for each other, in your sense of community, in your support for your parish, in your going out to each other through the example of your living faith.